Can you hear it with your ears? Can you see it with your eyes? Can you feel it wiggling between your quivering thighs? That thing with James. Once every millennium something will come along. When you feel it you will know it, 'cause it's coming on strong. That thing with James. Sit back, relax, deep breaths, no stress. Let me come inside your mind. I promise you it won't take long, the change will happen soon. You will feel something so special growing deep within you. That thing with James. That thing with James. That's me. Hello. Welcome to yet another episode of That Thing with James J. Asher II. I'm your host, James J. Asher II. That's me. The J in the middle stands for Jackson. I forgot to check and figure out what episode number this is. So that's why I didn't say welcome to episode blah. If I had to guess, I think this might be episode 20. Is 8? 7? It's either 27 or 28. I don't remember. Well, I've got a fun show for you today. I am going to talk about something that's kind of caught my interest lately called FALC, F-A-L-C, which stands for Fully Automated Luxury Communism, or the upgraded internet version of it, the Fully Automated Luxury Gay Space Communism. I did say communism before, right? Because when I was doing the research, I kept saying fully automated luxury capitalism, and that's just an oxymoron. Capitalism doesn't work for a long time. You know, it's good for getting out of like feudal type systems, but then eventually it itself turns into a feudal oligarchic aristocracy type system because of the hoarding of wealth and materials. But before we get into any of that, I want to take care of some quick business and tell you about my week. Well, business first. If you are listening to this on iTunes or Spotify or wherever else you can listen to podcasts that I've uploaded this show to which I have uploaded this show, if you're able to, rate and review the show, please. R-A-T-E, rate. Not another word that sounds very similar and is one letter off. Rate the show and write a review. And because that helps me get more people like you. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. I think they still have the little bell button next to the subscribe button. If you select that bell, you'll get notifications for whenever I upload new videos. And also something new I'm going to start doing, starting with this episode, is I'm going to start putting out like 1 to 5 minute clips from highlights of each episode. A good friend of mine, Brian Wade. Oh God, I shouldn't have said last name, should I? A good friend of mine, Brian. I think that's a common enough name. It's okay, right? That's okay, right? There's enough white guys. Oh God, I gave away his color too. Okay. I have a friend who suggested that I start putting out highlight clips of this show. And he said that would be a good way to get more people to watch. This is specifically for YouTube. So if you're listening, you can check out, I've got a YouTube channel. It's the same name as the show, That Thing with James J. Asher II. Well, you can find clips of the show starting after this episode. I'll put up highlights. And that friend and then another friend also suggested that I start doing some live streaming. I don't really have the equipment to do that, and I don't know if I have the time just yet to do that. I've got a lot on my plate already, and like more stuff's coming in every week, but I'm sure I could manage something. You know, if I got a webcam or something, I could manage like a bi-weekly or once monthly live stream. That'd be something to consider. Nothing for you to think about. I don't know why the fuck I'm telling you any of this. I'm getting bored listening to myself talk about it. Let's see, what else? You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at James J. Asher. You can visit my website, jamesjasher.com. There I have on the contact page my agent's contact info, and I also have a blog where way further back before I started the show, I've got some like essays or whatever, I'm not sure what to call them, on there. Let's see, social media, website, subscribing. Oh, and if you want to donate to the show, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more, you may do so at patreon.com/ThatThingWithJames. There you can donate as little as $1 per month or as high as $15,000 per month if you have fuck you money or if you're just really bad at money management. Either way, if you want to donate, it's a monthly setup, and you can select any tier that I've created of, you know, how much money you want to donate, and that will help me perhaps get better equipment, so and also buy more time in my life so that I can keep bringing you more and better content and meeting new people and bringing guests onto the show. So again, that's patreon.com/ThatThingWithJames. If you want to donate, you can be one of the cool dudes like Josh. Wink, wink, bling, bling. Now, this week has been hectic. Like yesterday, I'm filming this on Saturday, recording this on Saturday. Yesterday was Friday, and I was like manic all day. And really since about this time last week, so that would be Saturday of last week, when I recorded the last episode, everything just felt really frenetic energy all week long. And I'm not the only person who was feeling that way either, because I spent a good hour at the grocery store yesterday trying to look for inspiration as far as meals and snacks and provisions are concerned. And I overheard a couple different conversations happening at two different times with two different sets of people talking about the weird energy today being yesterday. And I could not agree with them more. So it's been a weird, frantic week, and I've been begging for some kind of stillness in my life, some just oneness, just some calm. And thankfully today I finally have that stillness and calm. And it's nice. It's nice to have. It's also nice to have clean teeth. I went to the dentist for the first time in about 7 years, I think. I went this past Tuesday, and I was feeling fine. I dislike my dental insurance company. When I signed up on it through the healthcare marketplace or health insurance marketplace or whatever was set up through the ACA, the way I read my plan for my dental insurance was that copay is $15, meaning no matter what your visit is about, unless it's like some extensive surgery or anything, if it's just like a regular checkup and cleaning, that price would be paid for like once a month. And then if you did have to pay for any subsequent non-extensive work or cleaning or anything like that, you would only pay a $15 copay. So they would take care of the rest of the price, just you pay the remaining $15. And I was like, okay, all right, that's fine. Plus, I haven't been to a dentist in so long. I don't know if I've got, if I'm going to need extensive work, fillings and whatnot. I've never had a cavity. Thank goodness. I think it's because my mom raised me good, fed me healthy foods. So I didn't get a lot of, quite as much sugar as I see some kids eating. And that's pretty fortunate for me because I've got good teeth and they're straight too because I wore braces, which was very abrasive. When I was in band playing trumpet, you have to flex your mouth muscles to get the right embouchure. And I had just the wires, especially at the end, off the back ends of the teeth, the back, far back molars, where the wires stick out at the end of the braces. That just tore the inside of my mouth up. And I can still feel with my tongue inside my top lip, not on my bottom lip, but on my top lip, I can feel a permanent crease in the back there of where the wire used to be. So if you know anyone, or if you ever see someone who is playing the trumpet or any instrument that really requires an embouchure, but brass definitely, because you really got to flex that mouth and push that air. So there's a lot of tension that can happen up in the mouth region. And if you see someone playing a brass instrument and while wearing braces on their teeth, feel empathy. Just take a moment and look at them and think, God damn, they're going through something painful to bring the world beautiful music. Even if the music sucks, at least they're making the effort to put the music out there and to share it with everyone. Wow, fully automated luxury gay space communism is so wow. It is, but I'm not there yet. I've still got to tell you more about my week. So I got my teeth cleaned and I ended up having to pay not $15, but what was it? $57. I had to pay $57, which would have been $15 more, except for my insurance pays $15. So despite the fact that their literature all pretty explicitly, at least as far as I remember it, and I do fucking take my time to read the small print and everything on stuff, the literature itself said $15 copay, which generally means you only pay $15. It doesn't mean they're only paying $15. So what the fuck am I paying $10 a month for if I'm going to go and get a fucking cleaning twice a year? One cleaning every 6 months, one cleaning checkup that's going to run me like what, $70, $57 with that $15 off. What the fuck is the point of paying $10 a month for that bullshit? What is 15 extra dollars instead of having to pay what? 100 something for this fucking insurance that doesn't do shit, and their website sucked and their phone service sucked. They were a pain in the ass to deal with, and I'm very displeased with them. And that's one of the reasons I fucking demand full, complete Medicare for all right now. Right fucking now. I'm sick of dealing with those fucking bullshit insurance companies all the time. Fuck them. Well, anyway, my teeth, I got all sorts of x-rays, and oh, dude, the x-ray tech was freaky. The x-ray tech, he seemed very lonely, and there were not a lot of people. This dentist's office was out in the mall, which was already kind of like a red flag for me. And so I went to the mall Tuesday in the afternoon Went up to the second floor to get to my dentist's office in the mall, which is just bizarre to me, but there it is. And also, I wouldn't have chosen the mall, one, because it's in the mall, which is just kind of, personally, it's a red flag for me for some reason that I can't help but think. I mean, it's like it's in the fucking mall with the fucking corn dog place, you know? Mall's the place for corn dogs and Spencer's Gifts and Hot Topic, not for a fucking dentist's office, not where you're putting your oral hygiene and bone well-being and enamel and shit on the line at the fucking next to the fucking corn dog place. Are you kidding me? What is this? What is this Mickey Mouse bullshit? What is this? Well, I go there and, they're playing smooth jazz and I fill out about 8 pages worth of documentation. Mostly, I'm sure, for, legal purposes and dealing with insurance companies. So I fill out all this stuff. No, I don't have hepatitis. No, I've never licked the back of a feral boar. Yes, I realize that all boars are feral. Yes, I realize that I might not know that for a fact. I really don't know if all boars are feral. It just seems like that. Like pigs can be domesticated, but boars? I feel like by definition, boars are kind of feral creatures. Anyway, smooth jazz. I'm filling out my forms and stuff. And then I wait and and in the lobby of this place, they've got like a Keurig coffee maker. And I cleaned my teeth super good before going, because that's kind of what my parents taught me to do before going to a dentist. Clean your teeth really well, brush your tongue, floss, do all the full 9 yards before you go in, because I mean, they're already going to be scraping shit out of your mouth. So you want to make their job any harder, you know? So I brushed my teeth and all this. I get there and they've got a fucking coffee maker there. It's like, why would you want to drink coffee before going in there with your coffee stained teeth and your coffee stained tongue? And these people are going to be working with it and they're already going to be scraping off like calculus, which they call it, instead of plaque now, they call it calculus. So they're going to be scraping mathematics off your fucking dentures. And why are you just going to stain it? Why are you going to make their job any harder, man? So, I go in, I get an x-ray done. The x-ray tech freaked me the fuck out. He was just this like kind of really weird energy. This guy had just really weird energy. And like I said, he seemed lonely. And while I was like in the x-ray room wearing the heavy lead vest, sitting back on the reclined dentist chair with a fucking chunk of plastic and metal sticking out of my mouth with some little newfangled device with the wire going in my mouth to take instant x-ray imaging before they take the solid x-ray imaging or something. So it like delivers directly to the computer right next to me. This guy is asking me about, so what do you do? So what do you do? So what do you do? And I try to avoid talking about what I do because I don't want to fucking... It's kind of annoying to tell people like, oh, you know, I'm an actor. And they're like, oh, wow, yeah. And they think you're something. They think maybe you get work. And it's like, no, you don't realize, like, I'm fucking poor as shit. Like a part-time McDonald's worker is more employed than I am, at least as far as acting is concerned. And he just kept asking me about this stuff. And then I told him, I'm getting into stand-up comedy. I've been going to open mics. And he started telling me about, what's the guy's name? He does Family Feud now. And he's got the mustache. And Kenan Thompson kind of impersonates him on SNL. What the fuck is that guy's name? Anyway, that dude... not Larry David. It's Harvey, Steve Harvey. Yeah, Steve Harvey with the weird mustache. He started telling me about Steve Harvey, talking on some show about, I never passed up a gig. I never passed up a job. Never passed up a job. And he kept repeating that to me. And I was like, with that big chunk of plastic in my mouth while he's zapping me with radiation from the X-ray cannon. Yeah, he just said, he was on this show and he said he never passed up a gig. You know, if it was like driving limos or doing something else, you know, he never passed up a job. Yeah. And he was on this show and he said he never passed up a job. Yeah. He was on this show and he said he never passed up a job. Yeah. And I'm starting to get flashes in my head of like, I hope this guy's not going to try to give me anesthetic or anything, try to knock me out, and then fucking kill himself over me, over my passed out body, blow his fucking brains out all over my lolling tongue as I'm, you know, got an IV drip of something. And a gas mask. Oh, God, dude. You know, fucking dentists, high suicide rate. If you don't know that's a fucking thing, you should know that's a fucking thing. Dentists, there's so many killing themselves. They're all fucking lonely, man. And they're looking at your goddamn teeth, your nasty mouth all day. They have to deal with so much halitosis and gingivitis, and rotten tongues, like fucking scraping, you know, undigested fucking graham crackers and goldfish, baked goldfish. Not real goldfish. Maybe finding a real fucking goldfish in someone's mouth, picking a bone out of their back molar, you know, having to cut out fucking wisdom teeth. Of course they're suicidal. Of course, they're inside all day under these fucking fluorescent lights and there's no goddamn windows and there's fucking smooth jazz playing and they're looking at your goddamn mouth and tooth after tooth after tooth and they're driving further and further and further into the heart of darkness, into the heart of their own mind, in the pit of despair. Yes, it happens. Yes, there's a high suicide rate of dentists. And I have no fucking statistics to back that up. It's just a stereotype, okay? And it's one that's firmly ingrained in my mind because I've known about it for a long time. And so I thought that dude might kind of, you know, I'm getting weird vibes off of him. He seems kind of desperate for approval, desperate for my company. And then he asks me, do you do any YouTube stuff? After I tell him, you know, I'm doing comedy. And I'm loath to say that I'm doing comedy anyway, because I'm still just doing open mic. I'm still learning and stuff, although I have been in a lot of comedic plays. So I guess I have done comedy. So I don't know what the fuck to call myself. Oh, wait, I do. James J. Asher II. That's me, the host of this show. That Thing with James J. Asher II. That's me. What was I talking about? What'd I tell you? Fucking frenetic energy. I need to take a break. I'll be right back. These pretzels are making me thirsty. I'm back. So, anyway, yeah, I got the x-rays done. I don't have any cavities or anything. I was all freaked out. I ended up liking the doctor, and the person sitting at the front desk, just the tech. That guy kind of freaked me out. But I don't want to belabor the point. It's fine. No cavities. My teeth are all clean and everything now, so I'm happy. That's one less thing to stress about. Now, for the rest of the week, it's just been really frantic energy, like I said, frenetic, manic energy all week. And the heat is just driving people nuts. It's driving people to drive nuts. Even pedestrians are acting just fucking bizarre. People are getting even more aggressive than they usually are. Texas drivers are fucking aggressive, but not as much as, say, Louisiana and Florida and South Carolina drivers. Just drivers in the South are the fucking worst, man. Anyway, yeah, got my teeth cleaned, and that's all good. Went to open mic yesterday, which was Friday, and I'm noticing something from a few different hosts who keeps mentioning the word diary. They keep saying like, and here's James Asher. He's probably going to read from his diary, or that was from his diary or something. Just the word diary keeps popping up. And I guess that's kind of my stand-up style, because I'm not really one for one-liners. I'm not really trying to look to see like how it's supposed to be done, because from everything I've read, there is no right or wrong way to do stand-up. I mean, well, there is. It's not funny. But even people who do it like quote unquote the right way, you know, they write jokes, you know, premise, setup, punchline, tag, do that over and over and over again. There's just a lot of comedians that I just don't find funny at all. I'd say the majority of stand-up comedians I don't find funny. Even really famous ones. Most of them I'm unimpressed with. The ones that I really genuinely like and impressed by and am impressed by, those are pretty few and far between. And I noticed what they do is what's best for them, what comes naturally to them. And so that's kind of how I'm approaching my own stand-up craft, my burgeoning stand-up craft, is that I'm just really trying to figure out what comes naturally to me, what works best for me. And I think that might just be sharing stories from my diary, because I write in I call it my journal, because I'm a man. And I just share these stories and then try to add some kind of punchline to them to make it real funny. But yeah, so I think that might be my style, because like I said, I'm not much of personally, I'm not great at the one-liners. I'm no Mitch Hedberg. I loved some Mitch Hedberg. But I'm not Mitch Hedberg. I'm me. And so I'm trying to find the best way to convey that on stage behind a microphone. Now, different subject. I've started watching Star Trek Next Generation. Now, I first saw it when I was very little. My dad would watch it, and I'd watch it with him. And, I was so young, I don't remember any of it. So a couple of weeks ago, I decided to start watching the show because I saw it was on some streaming services. And so I've been watching it. I'm into the third season now, I think. And I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. The stories are great. And the acting, there are so many really good actors and performances in the show. And that, to me, is the one thing that really sells it and makes it special. Because there are so many sci-fi shows that just have the worst acting. I mean, there's bad acting in a lot of different types of shows of many different genres. But sci-fi is seriously frequent repeat offender when it comes to having just really bad acting in it. And that kind of ruins these really good stories, these great ideas. They're just kind of wasted on shitty performances. But Star Trek Next Generation, for the most part, there still are some campy people, and oh god, the fight scenes are the campiest. But I'd say the majority of the actors are pretty damn good. Even the guests they'll have on, guest stars, really good stuff. But since I've started watching the show, I've noticed it popping up in things, being mentioned on podcasts or on television shows, or reading about it in random things online, people posting on Reddit, articles like the one I'm going to get into here in a bit. Now, I don't know if all of these Star Trek Next Generation references have been flying around everywhere, but I'm noticing it now. Maybe they have always been there, and I just didn't notice it because I wasn't active in watching the show. But now that I am, I'm noticing Star Trek Next Generation everywhere, references to it everywhere. And it's interesting how that happens when you become hip to a certain subject and you start noticing it in other things, in other subjects, everywhere else. References, synchronicities. And another thing that's been popping up in my life a lot recently is this idea of fully automated luxury communism. I first heard about it on a leftist subreddit on Reddit, and I had no idea. They kept talking about Falk, or I'd see a meme for fully automated luxury communism or fully automated luxury gay space communism and be like, what is this fantastical sounding thing? So I looked it up and I saw that, no, it's a real thing and it's been talked about for a while. As a matter of fact, there was a book written about it recently. I haven't read the book, but just last night I came across this article in The Atlantic about this book and the idea of Falk. And I want to read some good portions from this article. I really hope it's not copyright infringement. If it is, please just send a cease and desist. I don't want to get sued. There's nothing you can take from me. I don't have anything to give you. Just tell me to take it down. But I think this is fair use because I'm going to give full citation. And also, you can find it for free online. You don't have to subscribe to read this thing. So here we go. This is on theatlantic.com. The article is called "Give Us Fully Automated Luxury Communism." And the subtitle is "A New Book Proposes We Let Robots Do All the Work." It was published June 20th, 2019, and it was written by staff writer at The Atlantic, Annie Lowry. Here we go. Imagine a life in which all your basic needs were met. The bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs forever lopped off. No concerns about college debt ruining your ability to buy a home. No worries about where meals will come from or whether you would have enough cash to keep gas in your car. No problems paying medical bills. Then imagine a life in which virtually all of your needs were met. In this world, society would guarantee its members not just middle-income status, but the prospect of travel, the option of a fulfilling but non-remunerative career, time with family and friends, time spent with cats and gardens and on volunteering and road trips. Imagine that all your peers exercised regularly and watched as much peak television as they wanted. I don't know what the fuck peak television is supposed to mean. Is that like prime time or something? I don't know. Imagine never retiring because there would be no need to retire. And imagine this happening on a far greener planet. Now that sounds good to me. I say there's no fucking need for jobs. No need for jobs. Now, let's reframe that. There could be a need for jobs, like in Star Trek. It's someone's job to, make sure the Starship Enterprise is running smoothly and not running into an asteroid or anything. But this job doesn't have anything to do necessarily with basic needs like food, like finding food or anything like that. It's a different type of job. And it's a job based around not profit. It's a job based around the idea of knowledge, the pursuit. It's an idea based around the pursuit of knowledge and just exploration, discovering new planets, new civilizations, going where no one has gone before. Now, that's something I've noticed at the beginning of Star Trek Next Generation that I really like, because if I remember, I may be mistaken, but I feel like the original Star Trek, the line was, going where no man has gone before. I don't know if that's accurate, but if it is, whichever, I'm glad that Next Generation says, going where no one has gone before, because it can be anybody, And I think that's a great thing to strive for. Well, anyway, let me get back to this article here. If the former is the promise of today's resurgent left-tilting left, of which I'm a proud member, I'm a lefty, left, not center left. The latter, left-tilting left, the latter is the promise of its revolutionary vanguard, its furthest flank. And it has a name, a great name, fully automated luxury communism, or FALC. FALC is a strong brew of technological determinism, sunny utopianism, and souped-up socialism. Let the robots do all the work, and let humans enjoy the fruits of their labor in equal measure. A mainstay of science fiction and prophetic religious texts, minus the robots part, the idea has come into vogue over the past half century or so, both among progressive thinkers, not past half century, past half decade, so about past 5 years, both among progressive thinkers concerned about inequality and stagnation, and among the internet's meme makers, the promoters of Falk's swervier cousin, fully automated luxury gay space communism. La 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 la. Bum 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 bum. Fully automated luxury space gay communism. La 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 la, living to humans' highest ideals. La 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 la, fully automated luxury gay space communism. The most ardent advocate for Falk, Aaron Bastani, London-based blah, 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 blah. I don't want to get into the book review. I just want to talk about Falk, man. Mining asteroids, yada, yada. Looks like he went into some details of stuff that, he's about. Not necessarily what Falk is all about. You don't have to fucking mine asteroids, man. You can, like in The Expanse. It's a good show. It's got some terrible acting. Let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. Now, the vision of Falk is not a new one. John Maynard Keynes's famous essay, Economic Possibilities for Our Grandchildren, imagines a world with far less work and far more leisure. Shulamith Firestone, what a name. Shulamith Firestone. Shulamith Firestone wrote about, quote, cybernetic communism, end quote. Yet the most complete picture of Falk or Falgsk might come not from radical leftists or academic economists, but from Star Trek. In that imagined universe, replicators produce physical goods and artificial intelligence takes care of services. There is no need for money, no need for work, no problems with resource competition. People do what they want. Living on the USS Enterprise, visiting far-flung planets, going on adventures with your friends while wearing a modular outfit and a cute little pin. Now that's fully automated luxury communism. Where does the gay space come from? Now I can tell you where the gay space comes from. Awesomeness. Okay? Why just stop? The idea of Falk is, to me, not an outrageous idea, but to the status quo, the idea of fully automated luxury communism, to the status quo, Falk is a outrageous, extreme idea. Why? Because people are stupid and they've been brainwashed by other stupid people who are cynical and greedy and fully lack any kind of imagination. And they can't envision any life other than just exploiting people and hoarding wealth and resources and materials. So it's already outrageous to the status quo, so why not make it more outrageous to the types of people who would be against Falk or anything imaginative and new and innovative and good and awesome? Why not just throw in gay in there and add in space, because fucking, space. Sci-fi, man. the gay part, you're accepting other people of, just the idea, just the word gay. You just, it's not being focused specifically on homosexuals. It's, to me, it's just a word that's being used to communicate the whole idea of accepting whomever, no matter who they love and no matter who they're attracted to, and so on and so forth. So there's that. There's the acceptance, and then space, because fucking space is cool, man. It's cool. And maybe under Falk, we could explore our ocean, because we know, like, what, 2% of the ocean? We can't go down there because it's the pressure, the water pressure. We're not able to go down there without instruments getting crushed or people's blood boiling, because that happens at certain altitudes. So yeah, gay space communism. And then also the word communism is completely fucking misunderstood in the United States, because it's often pinned to the USSR. And the thing with USSR is, they'll say, oh, communism never works every single time. Well, there's multiple reasons for why USSR didn't work out. One, it got taken over by oligarchs, because I guess there weren't, I'm no fucking expert in this field, okay? I'm just working with what I know to the best of my knowledge. The institution didn't close up enough loopholes to keep oligarchs from forming. So that happened. And also persistent, extremely detrimental intervention from staunchly capitalist institutions fucking with it and dismantling it, like the U.S. trying to throw Venezuela, and then we got busted at the beginning of this year. We got busted pumping in fake shit, trying to create yet another fucking coup in South America. I think communism actually fucking 100% can work. And I think that it's the only way for humans to survive. As we're so interconnected now, and technology is at such an advanced level, I think it's really just unimaginative, and I can't think of a concise way to say it. It's just fucking dumb. If you can't imagine a better life, if you can't imagine an economy that moves beyond capitalism, capitalism is not the fucking end all be all, man. Capitalism is not the end all be all. It's useful for getting out of feudal situations, but look where it's led us now. It's led us to oligarchs, aristocracy, a ruling class. We're facing rising class consciousness in the United States, and a boiling point. We're reaching a boiling point between classes. This is fucking class warfare we're seeing right now. All the craziness that's happening. It's not left versus right. It's not dark skin versus light skin. That's what the ruling class tells the working class, to keep the working class fucking distracted and blaming each other for its shitty position in life, its shitty quality of life, when in fact, it's the ruling class's fault. If there's anyone to blame, it's the fucking ruling class for instituting policies that keep the poor fighting the poor, instead of fighting for their human fucking rights, fighting for a better life. Fighting for a world in which money is no object. The idea, like, fucking, we don't need it anymore. Why not share? Creating a fucking society based on empathy and compassion and sharing and support and love, instead of division and greed and brainwashing people to think that if they're poor, they're immoral. And if they're rich, they're more moral than people who aren't so rich. Fucking rich people think of that shit. A lot of fucking people, like on Fox News, the kind of fucking heads that go on there, they talk, you look at this stuff and they equate morality with wealth. So if you're poor, it must be because, well, you didn't work hard enough. And maybe you're morally corrupt. That's why you're poor. It's all your fault. You just didn't work hard enough. Fuck that bullshit. There are plenty of people that work much harder than someone who is worth $1 trillion, $1 billion, several $1 million. You can't tell me that one person who had a good idea and then spends most of the day sitting at a fucking desk, or if they're even showing up to work at all, works any harder than a fucking immigrant who's moved here to get away from a horrible fucking violence and standard of living that was in South America, most likely caused by United States intervention. So they come here for the prospect of a better life, the American dream, and they work their asses off just to get shit on. You can't tell me that the CEO works any harder than someone working in a fucking orchard and trying to save up money to send back to their family so they don't fucking starve or whatever. I see it. I see a lot of immigrants around here. Guatemalans, Hondurans, they're hardworking people, and they do not deserve to be spat upon or abused. They deserve every right, just like citizens, just like anyone else, in my view. Even people with whom I am maybe, politically don't agree with, even if I just like kind of dislike a person, I still say that they deserve a good, healthy, happy life. I need to take a quick break. I'll be right back. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Now, I recently saw a tweet from a Texas politician named Dan Crenshaw. You may have seen him because he was made famous by SNL. He's the dude, he's a veteran, and he wears an eye patch over, I believe, his right eye. And, he's a Texas politician, so of course he's very conservative. And since becoming famous by SNL cracking a joke, and then walking the joke back and bringing him on and giving him a huge platform, he's now flexing that platform, like on Twitter, saying things like, something like, it was before the second Democratic presidential debate. He said, "What horrible ideas are we going to see?" Or no, new debate tonight, new Democratic debate tonight. I wonder what new horrible idea we're going to hear tonight. What? That 4-hour work days are a human right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he said. Yeah. He was basically saying like, what, a 4-hour work day is a human right? That's just stupid. That's a terrible idea. Actually, I think it is a fucking human right. And because of my day job, I happen to read a lot of articles dealing with career stuff, be it productivity, anything to do with with one's career. Job searches, networking and interview advice, all sorts of stuff. I just, like 20 hours a week, I'm spending most of that time reading through these articles about career advice and career related things. And one of the things I come across time and time again are studies, like full studies about productivity. And frankly, well, to make the long shorter, literally, there's plenty of evidence that proves that, as far as like office worker, now it's different for like an hourly, like a restaurant kind of thing. But if you're working like, because that's just an ongoing service, you're just giving people food as they come in. But when it comes to other work, like say if you're like in a salaried type position where you're working on projects, workers have, it's found in these various studies that workers are just as, if not more, productive in 4 hours than they are in 8 hours. When they have a full 8-hour day that they're supposed to be working, a lot of people average out really to only doing like 2 hours of a lot of work. The rest of that 8 hours, the remaining 6 hours, is spent with just filler, like not working or doing anything, or just like sitting there. So you get your work done, but you still have to be there. It's fucking absurd in a really stupid way. It's not like fun absurd. It's not like Monty Python absurd. It's insidious, man. It's fucking stupid. And it needs to go away. You know, we don't need 40-hour work weeks anymore. And plus, Dan decrying a 20-hour work week being a human right thing, you get more fucking done. They found that like if a person has 4 hours in the day, they'll actually get more done because one, they know they're not going to be there all day. It's just like half of the what's perceived as usual business day. And two, because they're only there for that limited amount of time, they're a lot more focused and on task. And also, one of the biggest factors is rest. Rest. As soon as fatigue starts to set in, a worker's performance and their productivity drops exponentially. There's no need to do 8 hours because people get fatigued after 8 hours. Even if you're just sitting at a desk, yes, you get fucking bored. You want to go do something else, just sitting there. Unless you're a workaholic, and that's an emotional problem that you should talk to a therapist about, because that means you're trying to hide from some other issues that you don't want to face. But, you know, aside from workaholism, you don't really fucking need to be there for 8 hours. 4 hours is plenty. Probably even less, and you can still get just as much done as you would in an 8-hour day and a 40-hour work week. And also, Dan Crenshaw decrying a 20-hour work week being a human right, that to me says that about 100 years ago, he would have been the kind of guy that would have been screaming about how outrageous and absurd and dumb the idea of a 40-hour work week is. Plus the idea of taking children, you know, passing child labor laws. Like, children are not supposed to be working in fucking factories. Children aren't supposed to be working at all. They're supposed to be in school and learning so they can become healthy, well-informed, intelligent, and wise members of society, and productive members of society when they grow up. 100 years ago, he would have been screaming about what a bad take that is. Centrists and conservatives alike, both about 100 years ago, were screaming that child labor laws and 40-hour or 80-hour work weeks, 40-hour work weeks, they were screaming that those things would like completely collapse the economy. It was the most horrible thing to ever happen. And look, here we are. It's fine. We're being more productive than we've ever been. And then the idea of technology. You know, part of the idea behind technology is that it's supposed to make our lives easier. It's supposed to make our lives easier and make us more productive with less effort. And employers and people who are in the, the controller seat, so to speak, don't really, they seem reluctant to accept the idea that we do have the technology to get away with, say, an 8-hour workday. I just read an article about that last night, about some study was done recently on the effect of work and well-being. So they find that like it happens with a lot of retired people where they start to get like really depressed when they don't have a job anymore. And so having work to do kind of keeps a person happy to a certain extent. But they found that the peak happiness or peak mental well-being that comes from working, that peaks at 8 hours within a week. So anything beyond 8 hours in a single week, it's not doing anything extra. They already got the benefit of working out of those 8 hours. And yeah, technology, it's supposed to free us up so that we don't have to work so much, so that we can have more free time, so that we can go explore new things, create art, go discover stuff, go on adventures. It's just it's a better life. And some people just can't imagine it or don't want to accept the idea of it. So I really like the idea of fully automated luxury communism. I love the idea of living in a post-money society, a post-scarcity society. We have the knowledge, we have the means to not have to work anymore, to reduce suffering, to take care of our basic needs, food, water, shelter, just let us travel. Let us become fully actualized humans, not just individuals, but humans, the whole species. Let's raise up the whole species as a collective worldwide. Oh, my loud neighbor's here, so I guess I'm going to cut this short so you don't hear her. Oh, wait. It's not my loud neighbor. It's Emily. Oh, hey, come here. Come here. No, come here.
He's doing a podcast.
Come here. Oh, come say hi. I'm recording a podcast. Yeah.
No way.
Hi.
Hi.
This is my friend, Kat. I'm guessing Emily tried to contact me.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm recording this.
Yeah, we were like, come give us a ride, damn it. But it's
Really?
okay, we got a ride.
Oh, you needed a ride too?
Well, we were just together, so I was like, since we live like literally down the street from each other, I was like, hey, just give me a ride to your place, I'll walk the rest.
Hell yeah. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I'm talking about communism.
Oh, I don't know much about that, but it's great.
I'm talking about fully automated luxury communism. Have you heard of this? And then there's also fully automated luxury gay space communism. So basically, it's the idea that it's like Star Trek, where just everything's automated. Like we don't have to really work anymore because we've got machines to do work for us.
Yeah.
And we have that technology right now.
Yeah, it sounds like the Venus Project, which is like the most similar thing I could think of. Yeah.
It is very much like the Venus Project.
Yeah.
And it's like a post-money society.
Yeah.
So you don't need to do that anymore. So you just live your life and become like...
Yeah. You're actually free.
Yeah, you're actually free.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you were like, come on my podcast. And I was like, why do you want me to come on your podcast? Like, I don't know what the fuck to say.
Because you're into this kind of shit?
Yeah. It's nice because, like, a lot of people don't understand any of it. And when I see, like, your comments on my stuff and I comment on your stuff and we, like... can totally, understand each other, so it's nice.
Last week I commented on one of your posts, and then there was this other dude who started asking me, like...
It's probably my brother.
Oh, I didn't catch his name. I don't think it was.
Oh, Steven Schulter? Yeah, you started talking to him.
I wouldn't say his last name. It's okay.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, I was
He's a nobody.
I don't, like... at first I thought we were going to have like a discussion, but then I started seeing like where he was coming from and I'm like,
Honestly, your discussion with him was way more, like, you guys were, like, feeding into each other's, like, conversation, whereas, like, he's usually just, like, talking at people and, like, telling them they're wrong.
That's what I fucking figured he was gonna be, because I was like, I started seeing, like, oh, this dude's gonna fucking defend, like, Ben Shapiro and those fucks.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, I'm just...
he kind of was.
I know.
So, not in, like, a direct way, but, like, in a way of, like, oh, you shouldn't dismiss everything they say. When it's like...
Right.
But why should I listen to anything they say at all? Like, what's the reason for that?
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, you know about Jordan Peterson? The Canadian dude who's like... I don't know, the guy's
I know I've heard this,
freak.
Yeah, something
He's
like that.
He's a fucking freak.
Anyways.
But he's like, you know, clean your room. But like all the fucking incels are into him and everything. And he's like, at first it sounds like, okay, because he's like saying, you know, get your shit together, you know, come up with some goals and, you know, clean your room and yada yada. But then he starts getting into like, you know, there should only be monogamous relationships between men and women.
Yeah.
And then it gets like way downhill after that. But yeah, that Steven dude, I was like, I'm starting to see where this dude's going. And he was like leaving really fucking long responses. So I was like, I'm just not going to read it because I'm already like stressed on my own. You
handled it really well, though. I felt like you didn't, you know, like just completely like let him, you know, just have his way. Like you still like brought back arguments that could like go the other way. Like you weren't conceding, but you weren't also like just saying that you were wrong. Like you were actually having a conversation, which is what I always like try to do. And if someone is more like just like this is the way it is and there's no other way of seeing it, like I just don't agree with that because like everyone has their own way of seeing stuff.
Exactly.
So I just think that you should be open to other interpretations and perspectives.
But
whether you agree with it or not, like...
I was close to telling him just like, oh, you're one of them. But then I was like, it's just don't say anything. I'm a total
bitch to him every time he messages me because I'm like, honestly, I don't even know why we're still friends.
How do you know this guy?
He used to be my boyfriend.
Oh.
Like, when I was 14.
Oh, God.
And he was like 16 and we lasted for like a year and a half and then broke it off for like a couple months and then had like another like relationship for like another few months and then it was done. So.
Right on. But you still stay in contact, which is good.
Kind of. Like, I really don't stay in contact. Well, yeah. Like, Facebook friends.
Right.
Contact.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's not like you're having fucking, hey, how you doing?
Yeah. But I have to go pee, and then I'll be back if you want me to.
Actually, I want to have you back for, like, a full episode, because I'm actually wrapping this thing up.
Cool.
So.
Awesome. It's so cool to, be on a podcast.
Hell yeah.
It's amazing.
And I'll get you on for a full episode.
I'm totally in support of all your endeavors, so.
Thank you.
Keep it up, man.
Thanks. This is fucking cool.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
I want to shake your hand, but I'm going to give you a hug because you're my friend.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, dude.
All right. Go pee.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for watching. Check you next week. Don't forget, if you want to donate, you can donate at patreon.com/ThatThingWithJames. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. My handle is @JamesJAsher. You can visit my website, jamesjasher.com. You can bend over and lick your own butthole if you want. You can lick a friend's butthole. That's what love is about, my friend. Keeping each other clean and fresh, feeling good. Stick around for next week's episode and look forward to new clips. I'm going to make some highlight clips. I'm probably going to make a highlight clip of what just happened because that was cool. I love you, all my friends. May life make amends with all the open ends in your life. La la la, come again. Thanks for watching. Bye. Bye. Okay. Bye. 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 Goodbye.